Oh, look, a box. Oh, wait a minute. We don't do unboxings here. What do I have on the bench today? So today, you probably saw just at the very beginning that I have a different radio that I'm going to be taking a look at. Not a sponsored video. Purchased this one myself. And of course, Radioddity, me being as small a channel as I am, they're not going to reach out to somebody with 120 plus subscribers. So I bought it myself. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. I don't do unboxings because I don't really like to just have something straight out of the box and then go ahead and plug it in and tinker with it. I like to actually use it for a little bit before I actually do a review on it or even an overview on it. So let's go ahead and we'll get into the radio itself. This is the Radioddity QT80. This is a 10 meter radio that has the capability of being unlocked for use on 15, 12, and 10 meters. Now, as a side effect, it does open up 11 meters. I'm not going to say to use it. I'm not going to say that it's not in there. It's in there. When this radio is unlocked, it's in there. But I don't condone using it. What you do with your own radio, that's on you. With that out of the way, just a quick overview of the front panel. We've got 3 sets of knobs over here. These 2 sets are an inner and outer. And this is your regular volume control and on-off switch. You got your function button, your mode button, band button, scan, emergency button, which is able to be defined in the menu. You've got a noise reduction, you've got your tone squelch, and you've got your memory buttons. Now these have sub-functions on them. You've got your noise blanker, you've got your high cut, which actually will roll off the highs as you listen to any station coming in. You have your split, so you can run split modes. You have an echo feature. Obviously, this was originally designed for a non-amateur use by including the echo. If you use echo on an amateur band, you might get laughed at and you might get a finger pointing, possibly even a stern finger pointing. You've got a dual watch feature. This is actually your screen color that you can adjust, and then your dim for your display. This makes no sense to me, why there's a microphone on the display or on the face of the radio. It's not a button. It's just a hard piece of plastic with a picture of a microphone on it. So on the dials, you've got your outer ring is your output power. Your top knob here is your RF gain. Your outer ring here is your squelch. And your top knob here is your clarifier. This is capable of being a receive clarifier, a transmit clarifier, or both. So you can shift your frequency with this to match whoever you're trying to talk to or listen to. This is a clicky button over here as well. So you've got a sub-menu underneath the function. You've got a sub-menu underneath your VFO knob, which if I have a couple of things that I want to mention to some of the manufacturers, this drives me bonkers. I don't like clicky knobs on a VFO. When you're trying to tune through and find your frequency, this gets tedious very quickly. So that is one complaint I have with this radio. Around to the side, you have a mount here for actually the included microphone bracket, which I'll show you the Felix's bag of tricks there here in just a second. We've got the 2 mounting knobs for the mount bracket. It comes with actual knobs instead of screws, which is kind of cool. Nothing else on this side. Moving around back, you have a massive heatsink. Just gargantuan heatsink, which I find nice. It's nice that they include this. You have a programming port right here. So you can plug in and program that radio through your computer for your repeater offsets, your memory channels, things like that. You have an external speaker connection right here, and of course your antenna connection. We'll come back to that here in a minute. Other side of the radio is a mirror of the connection or the mount on the other side. You also have your mount right here for the included speaker, or not the speaker, the microphone hook. So you get some feet to go underneath the radio. In case you don't want to put the bracket on it, you can put feet on it. Get 2 sets of those dudes. There you go. Microphone hook. So you could take that, mount it right here, and have your microphone hang right there. And then remaining miscellaneous screws for mounting, as well as an extra fuse. You do get a power cord with this as well, of course. I just don't have it over here because I'm using an existing power cord that I have for another radio that has the same type of connector. And it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't drop something, so there. So let's go ahead and take a look at this radio. This is where I start to get into one of my gripes. When you connect an antenna up to this radio, you don't have a lot of room if you have large fingers like I do. And my hands aren't like ham-handed. I mean, I got good sized hands, but that connection is tight up against. This is a small piece of carbon fiber rod. There's not much room. So that is one thing, other than the clicky VFO knob, that I would really hope that they would update later on. Maybe notch this completely out and extend these out a little bit further to give better cooling and compensate for this being missing. That would actually make putting on an antenna a whole lot easier. And that way, if you have to access that antenna, it makes it just that much simpler later on. Now that we've got the antenna on it, let's pop power onto it. Get this guy back in frame here. There we go. Now I do have this running through a tuner because my antenna on the roof needs to be adjusted. The wires on it are a little on the long side, so they need to be shortened up so they match better. So when I first go ahead and transmit with this radio, it's going to go ahead and run through the tuner. You will hear a beep because it's going to go ahead and adjust for SWR. So let's power it up. So color-wise, or display-wise, you've got your mode designator. This is actually indicating VFO. I've got the meter set to show SWR. You can adjust what this shows. You've got your full readout of your frequency, and you've got a signal meter right here. Let's go into the menu just a little bit here, show you some of the settings in there. Let's get around to... Yeah, there's 42 different menu settings. I'm not going to go through all of them. Key beep, first thing I turn off. Beeps are fairly annoying to me. I don't like them. I don't use them. So they get turned off. Indicator. This is where you can change what your meter shows. You can have it show your timeout timer, your voltage off, and SWR. And then we're going to click in, get to the next one. Step, you can set your frequency step as you use your VFO. Mic gain, mic type, you can select electret or dynamic. The included mic is an electret. Now this is interesting, the volume path. You can have either main, which is coming out of the speaker, or you can go to mic jack. That tells me that you can wire up this mic jack to allow you to use digital modes and have your speaker coming out of the mic jack, which is an awesome feature. I love to see that. Echo, there again, pointless on a ham radio. Timeout timer set, you can change that. Oops, let's go back in there. There is a very short timeout on the menu. Transmit SWR, you can actually have it show your SWR when you transmit, which is actually really nice. These are going to be your tones. You can scan with this, so you can time out your scan, or if it's a squelch scan, so as you're scanning through, if the station stops talking that you're listening to, it goes back into squelch mode and continues scanning. Clarifier set. Now this is where it's kind of nice. You can go in and change your clarifier settings. So you can turn the clarifier off, or you can have a receive clarifier, a transmit clarifier, or both. So it'll shift your frequency both on receive and transmit. Clarifier frequency, you can actually adjust between 500 hertz and 5 kilohertz. That's a pretty large swing to work with on your clarifier, so I leave it at 500. Dim set, it allows you to change the brightness of your screen. Color. So you have two different color options. You have your main operating color, white, blue, green, red, yellow, purple, cyan, and just plain off. I actually leave mine on white. Transmit color is actually kind of cool though, because you can change your display color based on what you're doing. So when you transmit, if you want it to change to a different color, say I want that to change to yellow. So when I transmit, it changes to yellow. Now, before I do that, if you want to change that just normally and not have to go into the menu, if you hit function and then band, you can change the color without having to go into the menu. That shows up actually really well. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on purple. Dual watch set, channel 9. It'll bounce back and forth. Not really a used feature on amateur radio much. Yep. Let me get into that menu again. There we go. Emergency channel. There you go. You can define your emergency channels. Your repeater offset for your transmit. So if you're working 10 meter repeater, you can actually have it set your offset that way, which right now it's set correctly. Automatic squelch, Vox, receive noise reduction, transmit noise reduction. So if you have some background noise, that will actually help you filter that out. FM deviation, you can actually have either 2K or 4K. That's going to be your width of your signal, so your bandwidth on FM when you're working on repeaters. Tone, you actually have the capability of changing your sound. I left that, let me go back here. I left a setting set up that, there we go. CW beep is when you're using this radio for CW, and yes, it can be used for CW by keying the microphone. If you key the PTT on the microphone, it will go ahead and do a CW carrier, or not a carrier, but it'll transmit CW. I've seen others that have drilled a hole in the mic to go ahead and accommodate for a jack, for a straight key. It does not have a built-in keyer, so you cannot use a paddle or something like that with it. But if you have a straight key, you could run CW with this radio. CW frequency, CW receive, break-in, shift, AGC. You can have your different AGCs, fast and slow. PF key is actually a function key that's on top of the microphone that you can set to various functions. Get back in there. So you can have a 10K shift, echo, high cut, call channel. There's a lot in there. DTMF, you can preset your DTMF tones in case your repeater requires it or there's a function that needs it. Reset of your device and your software version. And we're back to KeyBeat. So, basic menu there. You have a secondary menu right here. If you hold in on the VFO, you have your high cut, which actually will shelf off the high frequencies. Noise blanker A&L, you can turn that on and off here or right here. Echo, there again, don't use it. 10K, you can either have it on or off. Roger beep, another thing that makes me think this wasn't originally supposed to be a ham radio. Oh, that's not what I wanted. This is what I want. DTMF is there as a shortcut, your high cut, and your background at the beginning. So functionally, it's pretty easy radio. Very simple menu system. Pretty detailed, but not hard to navigate around. Oof. Let's get a... There we go. So, just a quick introduction of this radio. Let's see if we can find anybody around. Oh, a couple quick things. So right now you can see that there is actually a pointer right here. You can actually, by clicking in on the VFO, you can change where that resides. The dulcet tones of FT8 on 12 meters. I'm actually going to use the microphone to do this because the clickiness is real. Nice thing about it on the microphone, if you hold down the up or down button, it does go ahead and give you a fast VFO adjustment. If I wanted to, I could move that over one, make it even faster yet. Let's see if we can make a contact here real quick. Do I have to turn the tuner on? Once we get close to somebody, then I will go ahead and kick it over so it'll tune for me. There we go. Now I'm going to be running this through the cobweb outside. This does go all the way up to 80 watts. This is actually an indicator. It's not an actual output power. I'm wide open right now. November 0, Victor Foxtrot, India. November 0, Victor Foxtrot, India. Nope, not that time.
My friend, I'll let you run. I'm going to go downstairs and watch a little bit of the news, and I get to work 5 o'clock in the morning every morning, so we get up at 4, and it comes pretty early, I got to tell you. But we're home by 2 o'clock every day, 2:30. It depends if the boss is still in town or not.
So he's an S9,
and,
even peaking
Thursday, so,
plus 10 or so.
Which is tomorrow. Anyway, 7 threes. We'll talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and nice. Thanks for the information on the airplane. W2GGI,
Okay.
Southeast Florida. Bye-bye, my friend.
Yep, unfortunately, it's just not going to cooperate today, but Moore was looking to do an overview of this radio anyway, and hopefully we'll have more content on this coming up. I'm going to go ahead and just turn this guy down here. We'll have more content on it coming up, just as I get more familiar with it, use it a bit more. This may be going in the vehicle, I don't know. It depends on how easy it's going to be to mount it where I want to. And we'll see how that turns out. But anyway, so it turned in a little bit longer than I expected. So we'll go ahead and say 7-3 for now. I appreciate you all watching. If you found something interesting, feel free to subscribe below, throw a thumbs up. If you have any questions, the comment section is down there available for you to go ahead and ask away. This one you can find on Radioddity. Right now, I think it was running about $2.99. I did buy this as a second-hand radio, so it is something that I didn't pay full retail, but it is something that it was in excellent condition. It barely been even opened. So if you get a chance to get one, while we've got the sunspot cycle to work with, go for it. I did use this on our local net yesterday, and it actually worked out quite well. Got great reports off of it. The audio quality on the outgoing was great. Incoming sounded good. I was hearing stations that I normally would hear during the net. Even some of the more distant ones in our local area seem to be coming through pretty well. So again, thanks for watching. we'll say 7 threes for now, and we'll catch you on the next one.